Rolling over kerbs. Prerequisites. For these maneuvers, you require good upper body strength and trunk balance. Caution: before you start practicing, adjust your anti-tippers. Wear a helmet. During practice, have the assistants stand behind with their hands ready to grab the push handles to prevent a fall. Moving backward independently down a small kerb. Begin with your back facing the kerb and bend your upper body forward. Hold the push rims at knee level and pull the wheels back slowly. Keep looking over both your shoulders as you lower both the rear wheels down the edge of the kerb. Apply adequate pressure on the push rim to prevent a hard landing or a fall backward. Keep pulling the rear wheels back slowly until the casters clear the edge of the kerb. Moving up a small kerb independently by rolling backwards. Push the wheelchair backwards towards the kerb and keep looking over your shoulders for obstacles. Lean back and hold the push rims at 2 o'clock position. Pull the rear wheels backward with a sudden force and climb the kerb. Now pull the casters on top of the kerb. Moving forward independently down a small kerb. To go down the kerb independently in forward direction, push the wheelchair forward. Gently lower the casters down the kerb. Now gradually lower the rear wheels down, controlling the amount of resistance given on the push rims at the knee level. Moving up a small kerb independently by popping casters. To move up the kerb, pop the casters, push the rear wheels forward and drop the casters gently on the kerb. Now push the rear wheels closer to the kerb. As it touches the kerb, lean forward and push with a sudden force to go up the kerb. Moving backward down a big kerb with partial assistance. To move down a big kerb backwards with partial assistance, begin with your back facing the kerb and an assistant standing behind you. Pull the wheelchair backwards. When the rear wheels touch the edge of the kerb, the assistant should gently lower the rear wheels. Now pull back on the push rims to move back and gently drop the casters. Moving backward up a big kerb with partial assistance. To move up a big kerb backwards with partial assistance, begin with your back facing the kerb and an assistant standing behind you. Pull the wheelchair backwards. When the rear wheels touch the edge of the kerb, the assistant should pop the casters, and as you rest your back on the backrest. Now as the assistant slightly tilts the wheelchair back in wheelie position, now on count of 3 at knee level, pull the wheelchair backwards and up with a sudden force to climb the kerb. Moving forward down a big kerb with partial assistance. To move down a big kerb in forward direction with partial assistance, hold the push rims at the knee level and have an assistant stand behind you. Now, the assistant should pop the casters into a wheelie and move forward. Control your descent down with pressure on the push rims as the assistant tilts the wheelchair and lowers the wheels on the ground. Gently drop the casters. Moving forward up a big kerb with partial assistance. To move up a big kerb in forward direction with partial assistance, hold the push rims at the knee level and have an assistant stand behind you. Now, the assistant should pop the casters, maintain the wheelie while moving forward, and drop the casters on the kerb as the rear wheels touch the edge of the kerb. Now, on count of 3, push the rear wheels forward with a sudden force and climb the kerb as the assistant supports the wheelchair.